incredible group of patriotic Cambridge Canadian conservative people here to fight for their freedom, fight for their rights, fight for a country where the people are put back in charge. Yeah.
My name is Tracy Wilson, and I'm the Vice President of Public Relations for the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights, the Canadian Gun Lobby. Yeah, some people just call me Wilson. I want to thank you guys for coming. We're going to hear from a bunch of speakers today. We've got a bunch of great parliamentarians here with us. We've got Connie Cody is here somewhere. We've got Kelly DeRitter, Matt Strauss is coming, Blaine Calkins all the way from Alberta, and of course our special guest, Pierre Poilievre. So what are we doing here? Why are we here? I'm going to give you a little history lesson. And as you know, this started back in Cape Breton. You'll remember the pilot program that went on there. And the chief of police there signed a deal with the Liberal government to help them grab guns from his citizens. Now, I don't know if this is just a coincidence, but that chief of police, his brother-in-law, happened to be the local Liberal MP. Surprise. Now, I know that was our first rally against the gun grab out there in Cape Breton, and we had law enforcement amongst us in the crowd in plain clothes, and pretty much every rally since. So after that happened, the union, the following day after that first rally, the union put out a statement. The union that represents the frontline officers, and they had nothing to do with it. They didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't support it. They were never consulted. And they actually were going to call for a vote of non-confidence in their chief, which is pretty wild. But before they could do that, guess what? He retired.
Shock!
So let that stand as a message to every chief of police in every region considering helping the Liberal government do this. So we've been to Cape Breton, we've been to Boys Town, New Brunswick, we went to Charlottetown, PEI, and there we got our rally in. Excuse me, I'll take that water open, please. We got that rally before they did the vote for the, hold on. Thank you. Mark, this is Mark, my security.
Thanks, Mark.
Before they did their vote, we got in there and we spoke to them, and guess what? We went from a region that was unanimously voting to help the Liberal government take your guns to a region that voted unanimously not to. And that's a sign of what a group of really dedicated individuals can do. They can change the world. And then, of course, we went to Quebec City. And I know, and you know, and we all know, Quebec takes a little bit of a beating, a little bit of ribbing from us, right? It's Quebec who wants the gun grab. It's Quebec that wants to do it. Well, I'll tell you, at the rally in Quebec, they put 4,000 people on the ground.
Yeah.
4,000.
Nice.
So a shout out to our friends from Quebec. And I know some of them are here. They've been following me ever since. Sorry, I'm dying over here. And then we went to Halifax. Now, we didn't have a big turnout in Halifax, but some people are saying the couple hundred people that did come, that's pretty good for that region. And then that brings us to Waterloo region. Here we are in the beautiful Ontario town of Waterloo region. And guess where we're going next? We're off to Winnipeg after this. So, now most law enforcement agencies have said no. You may have seen all these posts on social media, and a lot of people are wondering how that came about. Well, I call it the Police Chief Project. And I had somebody reach out to me from our insiders group. Yes, we have an insiders group. I'll tell you about that later. And he said, hey, why aren't we reaching out to law enforcement to ask them not to participate? And I said, okay, I think you're right, let's do it. And that's exactly what we did. And within 2 weeks of sending that first email, we had our first post. And you have seen law enforcement agency after law enforcement agency put out that they're not participating. Very few jurisdictions are doing it. I don't know, I gotta take credit for that. But I don't know if that's what caused it, but it sure helped, I'm sure. And then, of course, we've been doing these rallies all over the place, all across the country. And in the election, the last election. Now, I know it didn't go the way we wanted. It is what it is, and we just have to keep fighting, because quitting is not an option. But in the last election, the CCFR spent $400,000 of our members' money helping get Conservatives elected. We focused on 79 ridings, and in 53 of those, we won. We won those ridings. We've got the national TV and podcast, the TV show and the podcast, and we also developed National Range Day, which is a great way to change people's minds. You and I know that the very best way to influence somebody's opinion about guns and gun ownership is just to take them to the range. You can fight on Facebook all day, but taking them to the range is the best way. We also developed the women's program. It's the only actual functioning national women's firearms program in the country. We've been to over 100 shows this year, gun shows, trade shows, and of course, we are on our way to the Supreme Court of Canada to fight this gun ban. We're the only organization still fighting the gun ban in court. Now we've got critics who say maybe you shouldn't do that. That's not going to work. This isn't the right way to do it. And to them I say, do all the things, all the time, all the way. That's my motto, and that's what we do at the CCFR. I'm not going to talk too much longer because I know we want to hear from some speakers before our good friend arrives. But I just want to thank the over 300 volunteers of the CCFR across the country, including the crew that's here with me today. No matter where I go, these guys are just amazing. I want to thank the MPs who came. I want to thank Officer Scott Lehman, who always has my back over there, and his crew. He's a great guy. I want to thank all the men and women in uniform, because they generally don't support this. And then I just want to thank somebody. Let me see if I can see him. Oh, I see him over there. Now, this guy, well, you may not know him, but you've definitely heard his voice. And I know that you've heard his voice because there was a really cute audio clip that I leaked to the media, and I leaked it all over, and it was Minister Gary, the public safety minister, talking to his tenant about the gun grab and how he would help them and how they don't really mean it. Anyways, give me a big round of applause for Sean Brandt, the tenant. This guy should never buy another beer as long as he's around.
Hey, maybe remind people we're meeting after.
Yeah, we're meeting after. Where are we meeting?
Beer Town.
Oh, well, perfect. We're going to Beer Town after this. Okay. Anyways, that's fine. Sorry, Sean, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I had you on my list. We actually just call him the tenant. So, yeah. Funny enough, he's still a tenant of Gary's. And he keeps threatening him all the time with more leaks.
Did your rent go up?
Okay, now I think what we'll do next is we're going to hear from a good friend of mine. And these rallies are exhausting. Traveling everywhere is exhausting. But it fuels us to see the people come out and see us. And this guy's been stuck with me, traveling all over the place since last fall. Please put your hands together for MP Blaine Calkins, the Shadow Minister for Hunting, Fisheries, Conservation, the Pittsburgh. He's the best guy.
Oh boy.
You gotta come up. This is like a stage up here. See? Yeah.
Well, hey Cambridge, how you doing? Thank you so much, Tracy, and thank you to everybody that's here, whether you're here from the CCFR, the CSSA, the NFA, the CSAAA, whether you're here as a conservative, whether you're just here as a regular, ordinary, law-abiding, patriotic Canadian who just wants the government to leave you and your property alone.
Yeah!
Just a little story about myself so you know where I'm coming from. Now, I'm from Alberta. My riding is called Ponoka-Didsbury. It's basically a rural riding right down the middle between Edmonton and Calgary. If you're driving down Highway 2 in Calgary, between Edmonton and Calgary, you'll spend about half your time actually in the constituency of Ponoka-Didsbury. And if you're out there in the summertime, you'll notice that we've got these little things that run around out on the prairie. And sometimes, if you're lucky or unlucky, they might run out across the road in front of your car. We call them gophers. They're actually ground squirrels. Now, that's what we have for vermin in Alberta. What do you guys have down here?
Liberals.
I didn't even need to prompt you. You guys knew what the answer was right away. Now, so I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a farm in Lacombe County. I live in Lacombe right now. That's my home. I live in the town I was born in. And I represent the fine people that live there. And they're good, honest, hardworking citizens who just pay their taxes and expect that the government will do good things for them, provide programs and provide value. Is there any value in spending billions of dollars taking property away from law-abiding citizens? No! So why does the government keep doing it? Well, Gary told us what it's all about. It's all about crass vote buying. Anyway, I didn't have time to think about this when I was 9 years old, getting off the school bus at home in June, because as soon as I got off the bus, my grandfather and my dad handed me a little Crossman air rifle and a little package, little steel tin, round tin, of 177 caliber nose tip pellets. Now, of course, back then, because I'm old now, I would just take those pellets and tuck them under my lip. Who knew? Hasn't affected me so far. And I would go out, and my job was to go out and shoot gophers out in the pasture because they're a nuisance for our livestock, our horses, our cattle, the things that made us money on the farm. So I would go out and I was really proficient with this. And the sights were even broken on it, but I just got so proficient with this little pellet gun at about 20 yards, I could basically hit the gopher every single time. And I'd bring these gophers back. My grandpa would give me a nickel for every gopher I shot. I pulled the tail off, I brought it back, and then he accused me of just pulling the tails off the gophers and letting them go, but that's a different story. Eventually it got to the point where I was like, Dad, I'd be a lot more proficient if I had something that could shoot a little bit further than 20 or 30 yards. So maybe I could use that, little single shot 22. He says, well, how much money have you got from your gopher tails? So I told him how much money I had. He took my money. I thought, okay, this is my first experience with government. He went to town, went to the hardware store, came back with a little brick of 22 shorts, hollow points. Handed me a little Cooey Model 39 single shot. You know what I'm talking about, right? You put the bullet in, you pull the bolt back, and you shoot the gun. Now I was proficient I was proficient at 50 yards with this thing. So I lit up the field. Now I didn't get this when I was 8 years old, but I got it around the age of 11, maybe 12 years old. And I had to go out a few times with Dad and Grandpa in the truck, shoot a few gophers, everything was fine, I was clearly safe, I knew what I was doing. My grandfather and my father trusted me by myself with a gun when I was 11 years old, and gun grab Gary, Justin Trudeau, and Mark Carney don't trust me with a gun now that I'm 57. It's absolute malarkey. They don't trust any single one of us. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we don't trust them either, right? Why is it? It's every time these guys get into government, they come after us. They come after us. Remember Alan Rock? Yeah. Came after us in the 90s. They came after us, and then finally we had Stephen Harper. We had a decade of a semblance of sanity. We got rid of the long gun registry. We made it so that it was reasonable to take your handgun to the range or take your handgun to the gunsmith, whatever the case might be. And our government actually trusted us as law-abiding citizens. We had some peace for about 10 years, and as soon as it went back to the Liberals, with the support, frankly, of the Bloc Québécois usually, and the NDP, they will constantly come after us as law-abiding citizens. And we know, look, there's what, 2.5 million of us in this country? If we were a problem, don't you think you'd know?
Right.
We're not a problem. As a matter of fact, if you look at the statistics, I did some research on this. Just in youth gangs alone, there's about 7,000 young people involved in gangs in Canada a few years ago, and they were responsible for half of the gun homicides in Canada. Half. The rest of us, 2.2 million, are responsible for very few, if any, of the homicides that happen in Canada with firearms. In fact, a youngster with a gun, an illegal gun brought in across the border or made illegally here in Canada, is 3,300 times more likely to do something violent with a gun than you or me or any of us that are here today. And yet, who does the government spend billions of dollars to harass? It's you and me. And what do they do with all of the laws pertaining to minimum sentences for jail or bail for repeat violent offenders?
Let them out.
They let them out. They change the laws. They get rid of all of that stuff. And now we've got the revolving door of violent crime. And meanwhile, our own tax dollars are being used to confiscate our own property. I don't know about you, but I've had enough. And I'm just thrilled to be here. And I'm thrilled that you guys in this region have elected some great colleagues. Connie Cody is here. Thank you, Connie, your voice of reason in Ottawa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Cody.
I know that Rodney's going to be here, and I know that Matt's going to be here as well. They're great colleagues. Emily Brown is here. We should have had Emily in Ottawa. Thank you for if you're supporting her and you're putting out signs for her and you're raising money and knocking on doors, we need to make Emily a member of Parliament as well. So, I just want to tell you, we're going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep fighting because I'm one of you. Right? I grew up that way. I've been hunting and fishing and doing this, living this lifestyle in the outdoors, going to ranges, having fun, shooting trap, shooting ski, having a great time. Never had a problem once. Never broke the law once. Never been in front of a judge once. Well, I was as a law enforcement officer, but I was on the right side of the law at that time. Full disclosure. So it's time. It's really time to just double down, put our effort in, and keep up the fight because, God willing and God help us, we need a new government in Ottawa, one that's reasonable, one that's practical, and one that respects law-abiding firearms owners. So thank you.
Thanks, Blaine. Those are some solid words for sure. Guys, can we get everybody squeezed in here just before the leader comes later? I just want everybody in here. We can get in. Okay, I'm not going to talk much longer because I know there's way better people to talk here than I am. But I want to introduce you. Wilson! There it is. Okay. That's just somebody, well, you probably already know her because she's the MP for this area, the beautiful town of Cambridge. She is a firecracker in the House of Commons. Hey, you're a good woman and an excellent legislator. My friend, Connie Cody.
I'm short, so I'm going to go right to the top step here. So, welcome to Cambridge. Woo! Come on, who's happy to be here?
Yeah!
So I'm going to ask you, how many of you have your pal or our pal? I won't ask who has firearms for a particular reason, because there's lots of cameras around. But who opposes this gun grab? Is that it? That's all you oppose it by? Come on! Perfect. Well, I want to say that in Parliament we get a chance to see the Public Safety Minister several times, and I happened to go over and ask him, give him an invitation to come to Cambridge, because I said there's going to be a lot of people here that would like to ask him a question and talk to him and maybe come to Cambridge to hear what they have to say. Well, I got a look, and I don't think he's coming, so. Anyways, let's be honest right from the start. The so-called buyback isn't about safety. It's about taking legally owned property from law-abiding Canadians while criminals keep doing exactly what they're doing. And I say that not just as a member of Parliament, but as someone who holds an RPEL. I've gone through the background checks, the training, and the strict requirements, just like thousands of responsible Canadians. How many of you here believe that targeting law-abiding Canadians will stop crime? Exactly, because it won't, and we all know it. This program is costing taxpayers billions, and not a single criminal is being stopped because of it. Not one. And let's be clear, this isn't really a buyback. It's a confiscation scheme where the Liberal government is using your own tax dollars to purchase your own property. Canadians are paying for it at both ends. We've seen this before with the long gun registry. High cost, no results, and criminals still out there. While violent crimes arises and smuggled guns continue to cross our borders, the focus is being put on people who already follow the law. People who went through background checks, licensing, and very strict rules. We have one of the best regulations here in Canada. And that's not public safety. That's misplaced priorities. In communities like ours and several across Canada, people aren't asking for more paperwork or for more bureaucracy, no more red tape, no more be watched, no more control of government. We want less government. In fact, we're here to serve you. But people are asking for safer streets, for their kids to be safe, for real action on repeat offenders and smuggled guns. Not policies that look good on paper, but don't change what's happening on the ground. We're here today because Canadians are fed up. Are you fed up? Yes! We're fed up with policies that punish the responsible and ignore the real problem. And here's the truth. If a policy doesn't target criminals, it won't stop crime.
Yeah.
If it wastes taxpayer dollars, it won't build safer communities.
Right.
And if it ignores reality, Canadians will push back.
Yes.
We want safe communities. We want smart policy. And we will not stay silent while the wrong people are being targeted. And I want you to know this. We as Conservatives are listening. We hear you. We will continue to stand up for responsible, law-abiding Canadians, and we will keep fighting against Liberal policies that simply don't make any sense. Because you deserve a government that works for you, not one that makes you pay while criminals are walking our streets free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming today. And,
Now, there's a lot of really good talent in the House of Commons, especially on those blue benches. And next I want to introduce my good friend, Kelly DeRitter. She's the MP for Kitchener Center. That's it. Yeah. I don't know what that means, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm telling you, these new MPs and the House of Commons are just a force to be reckoned with. So put your hands together. Welcome, Kelly DeRitter.
Hey, I see some familiar faces in the crowd. Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Good? Good. So, I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, I'll fire it up a little. Would it be better to concentrate on a revolving door of a justice system instead of this program? Can I get an amen? Would it be better to concentrate on securing our borders instead of this ridiculous program? Can I get a hallelujah? Would it be better to concentrate on the actual criminals in our society instead of this program? Can I get a yes? Yes! Here we go. Okay, I am going to tell you a little story, okay? A long, long time ago, very long, you'll get it in a minute, I took a course that gave me a firearms acquisition certificate.
Oh, that's
It was so long ago, it was called an FAC. The reason why I share this with you today is because I went through that program. So this means I know personally that your guns are the cleanest guns, the most well-kept guns, the safest guns, the most safely handled guns, and the most safely stored guns in our community. Am I right? Yes. Also, I know, and we're going to get really real here, that I'd say the majority of the people here who have the nowadays license thought, I don't want to be here. This is a complete waste of time. I don't want to register my guns. But you did it anyway because you wanted to be law-abiding gun owners in Canada. Am I right? Yes. So, the ask today is for this Liberal government to stop this absolutely ridiculous, expensive program. And my second ask today for all of you is the media to stop telling everybody that this is an option. Because we know this is going to turn into not an option in the very near future, and it's going to turn the most law-abiding citizens, you guys, into criminals in our country instead of the actual criminals that we should be bringing to justice, right? So this is the ask. Should we ask the question and should we hold them accountable to get this done? Yes! Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Helen. Awesome. Now, I know I was telling you earlier that there's all kinds of new, fresh, amazing, strong talent in the House of Commons. And our next speaker is no different. So this is our friend, Dr. Matt Strauss from Kitchener, South Hespeler.
Hi, what a crowd. Thank you so much for coming here to express your desire to live in a free country and to enjoy the freedoms that we were all born with, that have been chipped away at after 10 years, now 11 years of Justin Trudeau and then Mark Carney. I'm so excited by the energy here. I'm so excited when people stand up for their rights and to keep Canada strong and free. Canada will be strong, will neither be strong nor free when all your guns are taken away. I will make a admission to you all. I don't know a lot about firearms. Oh, that'll change. There we go. Yeah, exactly. I'm a physician, I'm a lover, not a fighter. My dad was a soldier, his dad was a soldier. I know that responsible gun ownership is how we keep our country safe, it's how we keep our borders secure. But I myself do not know all of the technical details that I know so many of you here know so much more about. But I can tell a few things just with my eyes, like just as a thinking person, as a scientific person. For 11 years, the Liberals have been talking about gun restrictions and taking your guns. And I want to say this gingerly, because it's terrible, but it's true. So I am going to say it, even though it's terrible and true. 2 of the worst mass shootings that have ever happened in our country's history, including the worst in our country's history, happened under their watch. So if their ridiculous gun regulations and their infringements on your rights were working, why hasn't it worked?
It's not the gun.
Exactly, it is not the guns. And another thing that we've seen over the last 11 years, over their period of time in office, is that people can commit horrendous crimes with a vehicle, yes. And the problem is isolation, alienation, lack of mental health, fundamentally evil. Like when somebody is determined to do something awful. We've got a fan. Oh, very good, yeah. They will find a way, and we have to deal with those underlying problems, not with hunters and sport shooters who are the backbone of our country. So I put that question to them in the House of Commons, like, if what you're doing is working, why has it obviously not worked? And they have no response to that. So I encourage you all, I mean, I know you have more technical details, you have your arguments, I encourage you to add those ones to the ones that you offer. And we've got to stop this. As the gentleman over there pointed out, they don't even believe in what they're doing. So we got to keep saying what we believe, we got to keep fighting for what we believe, and we're going to keep Canada strong and free. Thank you so much for fighting for this today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. See what I mean? I've got a lot of hope with all these new MPs this year. Now, we've got a couple of people here that should be MPs. And I know I didn't talk to her about this ahead of time, but I'm going to call her up here because I think she deserves the attention that she should get. It's my good friend Emily Brown.
I don't have to be on the top step, I guess, but thank you, Tracy, very much. So when I was 12 years old, I moved to a gun club in Brampton, which is now across the street from the Walmart. But up there at the time, it was a lovely gun club, 3-discipline club. My dad became the groundskeeper, and one day someone said, "Hey, would you like to give trap shooting a try?" And that was the beginning of a 53-year relationship with firearms, with safe shooting, with finding a husband, and with me still being competitive at this age. And so ever since, the early days of licensing and even bans and confiscation that started back in the 70s, I was compliant with everything. I sat in front of my computer when the long gun registry was starting up, and I said, do I really want to do this? Do I really have to do this? My husband said, otherwise tomorrow we're going to be criminals, paper criminals, but we have to do it. So every time, just like others have said, we have followed the rules, we have complied with new regulations, we have put our guns that have been banned into the safe, waiting for the day when they'll be freed again, or when someone comes to our door confiscating them. Right now, we can't will our guns to anyone, we can't sell our guns to anyone of the banned list, and it just doesn't make sense. We've invested over our lifetime with firearms for various purposes, for sports shooting, or for hunting, or for collecting as gun collectors who keep them for historical reasons. And we've invested a lot of our time and our money. And this is private property. So I ask you today, if you are not here, I ask others, what is it that you own that one day the government will say you can't, and we want it? So fight the good fight. Keep fighting. Thank you.
I can't wait for the day that she's a member of parliament. Okay, and I just wanted to add too, the purpose of gun control should be to prevent the misuse of firearms, not the legitimate use of firearms. So that's something they always get wrong. Now, I got a couple more people that I want to speak, but I just want to share some stats with you that I was looking at this morning at breakfast. So I'm not from here, and I was like, what's the deal with Waterloo Region? If the Waterloo Regional Police Chief believes that they have nothing to do other than help the Liberal government grab your guns, okay, yeah, he probably is. What's going on in Waterloo Region? Let's take a look and see if there's anything else the police could be doing. Oh, Waterloo Region, you rank in the top 5 for the highest crime rate in Ontario. There were 10,259 reported crimes against people in 2024. 5,758 assaults. That's pretty violent. It's a pretty assaulty place. Very assault style. 3,314 threats of violence. 22,863 property crimes. And 346 people charged with production and distribution of child porn. So, I guess there is a couple things the Waterloo Regional Police could be doing other than this. And I know that the good people who work for the law enforcement that work for Waterloo Regional Police Services would rather be doing that, catching bad guys, than catching you guys, the good guys. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. Also, we're going to the Supreme Court of Canada. Okay, now I don't know where he is. I can't see him out there in the sea of people now. I don't have my glasses on. But these bans and these liberal policies don't just affect gun owners. They also affect gun shops. They also affect the ranges and clubs that we frequent. And I know my friend Trevor Williams, the owner of Shooter's Choice and the Colby Shooting Club, has been putting up with the results and the effects of these liberal gun bans. So, on behalf of a lot of the retailers who've been working on this, Trevor, why don't you come up and tell us how this has been affecting you and your business?
General manager. All right, I'll start with one thing, guys. Who'd rather be at the range right now? Eve of turkey season, one of our biggest hunting seasons, and we got to stand here and tell the government and our local police they're wrong. Again. On the mic. Yeah. Good. All right. Yeah, like I said, instead of sitting at the range, sighting at turkey guns, we got to come here and tell Waterloo Regional Police and tell our government that they're wrong and they're attacking the wrong people. As someone who runs one of the largest businesses in the area, I can tell you the fact it's bad, okay? Every time they've attacked us, they told us, we're done with you. Go on, buy something else, move on, and they do it again. And they do it again, and they do it again, okay? As a director of one of our local clubs, everyone's discouraged. Guys who own handguns, which are still legal to shoot, for the record, aren't coming out. Okay? They're beat up, they're tired, and they're sick of it. And I understand that. What I'm asking you guys, more than anything, you guys all have your PALs. Most of you are members of a range. Grab someone who doesn't have a PAL, take them to the range, show them what our world's about. Okay? Thanks, guys. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. Okay, I got another business owner to talk to us here. I don't know where he is. I should be able to see him because he's like 7 feet tall. Hold the mic closer and talk louder, he says. Okay, he literally put it on his sign, so there we go, we see that. This guy needs no introduction. If you have frequented range around here, if you've bought a gun in a store, if you've been part of any program, this guy donates more guns to the community than I've ever seen. And he's been dealing with the effects of these gun bans as well. Phil, where are you? Papa Phil, are you here? He's right here. Phil Odell. There we go. Phil Odell from Odell Industries. Come on up, Phil. Everybody already knows who Phil is. Anyways, Phil, why don't you tell us your opinion of these liberal gun bans?
Because it's a public area and I'm being recorded.
They're assholes.
Thank you very much.
Who loves Wilson? She's the best. She gets us together, she holds this group, and she puts more effort into this than any 5 people I know. She's an amazing person. Thank you, Tracy. Because of Tracy, we're happy. Nah, not happy. I'd really be happy if I was donating guns for prizes at shoots as opposed to fundraisers. But we're going to do that because we need to do that. My dad said, you don't lose till you give up. We're not giving up. That's right. We're still here. But I want to tell you a little something that goes different, probably to anybody else's experience. I am a firearms importer distributor. We also distributed for a little company in the area, used to be called Dimaco. I worked there for 10 years. Built the best rifles for our military because it's the best military in the world. Proud to do that. Subsequently, I started my own company, and one of the things we did is we convinced what was then Colt Canada, hey, you know, people would love to be able to own a Colt Canada firearm. And they went, yeah, okay. And that turned from an idea into several $1 million a year in business. That's at my cost. So how many people from our area, how many friends and neighbors did I keep employed? Did you people keep employed by supporting it? This ban and the stupidity that's involved in it affects people at all levels. It's not just gun clubs, not just ranges, not just shooting shops, but it's manufacturing people. It's your friends and neighbors. Damaco and Colt Canada were several hundred people, but there were thousands of people that were employed in other companies supporting them in this area. So thousands of your friends and neighbors are being adversely affected by this stupidity. When they brought in the first ban in 2020, okay, that was horrible. You know what it meant to me? It meant 47% of my business disappeared overnight. 47%. How would you like to run a business and your government says, oh, by the way, half of it? No. No, it's horrible. These people need a head shake. We are not the problem. We have never been the problem. We are not the problem.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. Every time you get a chance, be nice, be reasonable, but be firm. We are not the problem. This is not the way to spend our money. We got a lot better things to do. And by God, Tracy, I hope we're going to get together more on the range. And we're having to do rallies. Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
And if you like his Canuck guns, we got a whole load of them in the biggest gun contest in the country, raining guns. There's only a couple days left, so check it out. We're giving away 100 guns. But, okay, I got another speaker. I know we are, let me check the time here. We got a special guest coming today. Yeah, we got lots of time tonight. All right, so this guy here, I mean, you probably know him. He needs no introduction at all. They run probably the best conservative commentary by any couple in the country. Our friends from Northern Perspective. Ryan, come on up. Let's hear it from Northern Perspective.
Holy crap, a lot more people showed up. Ladies and gentlemen, who hasn't heard of Northern Perspective? Okay, now you have. Who has heard of Northern Perspective? And we're not alone. I may not be a gun owner, but I am a part of a crack team of sharpshooting independent media that has your back. We first got on the CCFR's radar, I think it was a couple of years ago, and I don't even think we were not anonymous yet. And we got on their radar because we started talking about this gun control garbage that Justin Trudeau and his government were talking about. And all we were doing was talking about stats. And we admitted, listen, I don't know what an RPAL is. I don't know what a PAL is. That sounds like a friend to me. So, but I didn't need to know what it was, because if you watch our channel, and sounds like almost all of you do, you know that we practice evidence-based journalism despite not being journalists. So some folks have already talked about stats here today. Here's another few stats. Did you know that a non-gun owning Canadian, the rate of crime for them is about 2.1 for every 100,000 people? Okay, that sounds pretty good. Did you know that the rate for a registered firearm owner in Canada to commit crime is only 0.67 people for 100,000? What that means is that means that 0.0006% of registered firearm owners in Canada are actually committing crime. That's what that means. Yes. So, what that also means is I all of a sudden feel a lot safer in a crowd full of registered gun owners than I do. Not the problem, absolutely. Apparently I'm the problem. I am more likely to commit crime than many of you. Maybe I should remedy that. And we went out to the Hamilton Gun Club, and we were invited out there by the wonderful folks there just to see how it is. And there's been suggestion for people to do so. So if you are watching this and if you have never handled a firearm before, I encourage you, go out to a gun club. You will not deal with more respectful people, more safe people, and they will not push you into anything, and they will teach you how to handle a firearm properly. So shout out to the folks at the Hamilton Gun Club and gun clubs all across this country. Now, if any of you go online, especially Twitter or X, which I'm sorry if you do, you will see that there is a lot of doom and gloom out there. There's a lot of people saying Canada's finished, Canada's done, Canada is lost. And someone mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad they did. The only time you lose a fight is when you stop fighting.
Yeah, that's right.
So, we lost the last election. That sucked. We were all disappointed. But that doesn't mean we give up the fight. Look at the leader of the Conservative Party. He lost his riding and he lost the election. If anyone you would expect to give up on that, it would have been him. But he said, not today, not on my watch, and he said in an interview that we did with him, I have too many people relying on me to actually give up. So, that's what leadership looks like. And leadership also looks like every single one of you coming out here today. Because that means that you have refused to give up. You're fighting for freedom. You're fighting for your rights in this country. This is the land of the true North, but it's the Conservatives that make it strong and free.
That was excellent, Ryan. Okay, but I know that you don't want to hear more from me, and I want to thank everybody who came here to speak today, my colleagues who came out. But the main event is about to begin because the leader of our official opposition party for the Conservative Party of Canada is here, and he'll be joining us very shortly. So, I have the privilege of introducing Pierre. We're not going to start yet. So
Thank you very much, everybody. Give it up for the great Connie Cody. What an incredible group of patriotic Cambridge, Canadian, conservative people here to fight for their freedom, fight for their rights, fight for a country where the people are put back in charge. And you know, the good news is that you have lots of friends. Lots of friends on Parliament Hill fighting for your freedom and for your rights to exercise responsible firearms ownership. And I'm going to read off some of those allies that you have. We have here today, obviously, the great Connie Cody. We have Dr. Matt Strauss. We have Jazz Halan, our Shadow Finance Minister. The great Amarjeet Gill from over in Brampton. We've got the great, our Shadow Minister responsible for outdoors, hunting, angling, and trapping, the great Blaine Calkins. Who else is here? Do you have any others? Oh, we have Tracy Wilson. Give it up for Tracy. Oh, Kelly DeRitter. Give it up for Kelly DeRitter. Why do we have a volleyball here?
It's Wilson. Wilson.
Oh, Tracy's a volleyball player. You've got some incredible talents I didn't know about.
Yes.
And who else? Oh, we've got Ryan Davies from the Northern Protectorate.
Here. Right here.
Look at that. He's got a nice cowboy hat, which he picked up at the Calgary Stampede. Make sure you get out to the Stampede, the greatest outdoor show on earth. My friends, listen, we're here today to stand up for our rights, to fight for our freedoms, and to restore common sense. Let me just recap very briefly the chronology here. The reason that so many people came to Canada over so many hundreds of years is because of our freedom. That if you arrived here on our shores, you worked hard, you followed the law, you supported your neighbors and your community, you could have any life you wanted. And part of that was to carry out the millennial tradition of hunting, to harvest a sustenance off the land. And that was the ultimate expression of self-reliance. And that really symbolized what was great about our country. So many people came from all corners of the earth, and they built a life here in Canada that would have been impossible under the tyranny that they had left behind. And up until 10 years ago, that was the Canadian promise, that it didn't matter where you came from, all that mattered is that you worked hard and followed the rules.
Let's bring it back!
Let's bring it back and let's bring it forward. Something very strange happened 10 years ago when the Liberal government was elected under an illusion. The illusion was that they were going to serve the people. In reality, they've done nothing but serve themselves. Their sole purpose has been to concentrate money, power, and control in their hands, leaving less freedom and opportunity in the hands of the people. Over the last decade, the debt has more than doubled, as have housing costs. So have the lineups at our food banks. They have passed laws to free the most dangerous criminals onto our streets, causing brutal crime waves. They destroyed the immigration system, allowing for criminals, terrorists, and fraudsters to come into our country. And at the same time, they turned against the law-abiding people of our nation. They brought in censorship laws, massive tax increases. They attacked our resource sector, driving hundreds of thousands of resource workers out of a job, all while using all that control to enrich themselves. A small group of elites and globalists got rich, making everyone else poor.
Thieves.
They did that at the same time. They've attacked law-abiding farmers, hunters, sport shooters, and others who only want to follow the law. Now, let's be clear. This is not about public safety. The stats demonstrate that law-abiding possession and acquisition license holders, or RPAL holders, are statistically the least likely people to commit any crime of any kind. In fact,
That's right.
and we know that because criminals don't go out and get a license to commit a crime, do they? If you're on your way to rob a bank, you're not going to stop and get your pal along the way. So ultimately, when they target the law-abiding people, by definition, when they target the people who have a pal, by definition, they're targeting the wrong people. Anybody who would comply with their confiscation of lawfully acquired firearms is by definition someone who is not going to commit a crime with that piece of property. The people who commit crimes are the ones who acquired their guns illegally almost entirely by smuggling them over our borders. This is not speculation. It is a proven fact. The Toronto police have said that 90% of guns recovered in crime were not possessed legally. They were brought in through our porous, weak, liberal borders. And so by diverting at least $750 million to confiscate firearms from the law-abiding people, they are not only failing to fight crime, they're making crime worse. Yeah. They're going to be diverting police resources away from real criminals to go after Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle. The people who follow the law are going to be getting knocks on the doors by police officers who would much rather be doing their jobs of arresting real criminals. This is going to make our country even more dangerous. And even if all those facts have not convinced you, you know who can convince you? Our own public safety minister. He has done a better job than anyone else.
This is the tenant. That's the tenant.
That's the tenant. So
yes.
There's the tenant. You were his tenant?
Yes.
So the Minister of Public Safety walks into your apartment, sir, and he says he's going to bring in a policy that he knows won't work. And he's going to take away your lawfully acquired property even though he knows that you're not a danger to anyone.
Absolutely.
He admits all this.
Absolutely.
And then he says,
He doesn't even know what NARPAL is.
and then he doesn't even, it's actually true, he does. This is a public safety minister, a liberal public safety minister, named by Mark Carney, who doesn't even know what a restricted possession and acquisition license is. And yet he thinks the people who hold one are a danger to the country. So then he tells you, you say to him, but I'm not a danger. He says, I know that. The policy is not designed to fight crime. It's meant to win political votes, right?
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
And so he's wasting $750 million at least. By the way, they're taking your money. They're only going to spend of the 750 million, only 250 million is going to go to so-called compensation. That means by their own admission, 2/3 of the money is just going to more bureaucracy, right? By their own admission. And that assumes they actually come in on budget. My friends, I will make a prediction to you. This will go billions of dollars over budget to recover almost no firearms. It will drive more guns into the black market. There will be more crime, more chaos, and more danger as a result of this latest liberal boondoggle than ever before. My friends, the good news is we have a strong conservative team that is 100% united to fight back. One of our MPs, Jason Grillo from Quebec, is recruiting. He's recruited now 60 municipalities across that province to announce that they will not enforce the liberal gun grab. General Anstey, our member of parliament from Newfoundland, is doing the same tour across the Atlantic provinces, where increasingly the municipalities there say they will not participate in the liberal gun grab. Then we have the provincial police forces in most provinces in the country who say they will not implement the liberal gun grab. My friends, the police are against this gun grab. The hardworking taxpayers who pay the bills are against this gun grab. And we have a team of conservatives that are fighting every day in every way on behalf of our farmers, our hunters, our sport shooters, our law-abiding people, because we are determined to restore the promise of this country where anybody who works hard gets an affordable home, decent food, including food that they hunted or fished or trapped, to bring home, to live on a safe street, to be united under our proud flag, to move forward to making Canada the freest nation anywhere on earth. We will fight for it every day.